Hi everyone, hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. You have a really good weekend, okay? I'm just going to dive into the Bitcoin chart right now, and as you can see, you know, this inverse head and shoulders pattern and our target up here at 55,197, it was met, so that was a really beautiful target there, and that was a good trade, guys. If any of you got into that, you know, if you could have took it on the retest there. You know, we did say that when you break out of these sort of patterns, you do need to see a backtest of support. Okay, just to clarify that the trend is still intact, and your friend, and this particular pattern here played out to a T. So you know, that was a 5%, yeah, 5% trade on Bitcoin there, so that was good. But as you can see, it did go up, it started to come back down, looked like it was going to invalidate the pattern. It bounced off the support there, the neckline, you see that. Okay, it bounced off that support line there, and then just marched back on, got through the EMAs, formed the bullish cross, and then it's going up. So what's good for Bitcoin right now is that we've actually got back into this descending triangle pattern here, right? So we switch to the 4 hourly, because that's on the hourly time frame. We can get rid of all that now, clean that up, and as you can see at the moment on the 4 hourly time frame here, we are hitting our head. We did have a close above it a few hours ago at midnight. We did have that close above it and we looked good, okay, but unfortunately, and we get rid of that target as well because that was met, okay, so unfortunately what we're doing here, we've come back under it, okay, we have come back under it. But what's positive about this, okay, we do seem to be forming a bit of a bull pennant there, but I do want to show you a bigger pattern that is emerging for Bitcoin, okay, and basically it is a bullish continuation pattern, but it does potentially mean that we may see more downside. But I just want to bring your attention to it, okay? It might not necessarily happen, but obviously you have to target everything in charting as we do. So basically you've got this sort of channel here, okay, where we've fell into it, we've come up into it, and we've been trading, you know, and what I need to do is drop that top trend line on there as well, okay. So we've got this sort of channel here, and you can see it's acting as a form of resistance now inside this channel. So effectively it's quite difficult for you to see. So what I'm going to do is change the colors of these patterns that we are in, okay. So give me a second. So as you can see here, this is a larger pattern on the grand scheme of things. This is a descending triangle, okay, and we have this support here at the bottom, which we've lost, okay. We did lose that when we broke down, and when we broke down, we actually started forming a new channel. And if we can stay inside this descending triangle now, that's great, because you may see Bitcoin come down. There's a couple of patterns here that are playing out, and I want to show them to you, okay. So I can make you aware of the possibilities here. So basically at the moment we are hugging this 55 EMA on the 4 hourly time frame here. It is acting as a level of resistance, but if it was to break down, you may see us bounce off the bottom of this descending triangle. If we do fall out of that now, then you do need to start targeting this channel here, which is a broadening ascending channel, basically a broadening ascending wedge, which is actually a bullish continuation pattern, because what it does eventually, when it trades down like that, it usually breaks up out of the channel and back up to where it was formed. And as you can see, it was originally formed just there for Bitcoin. So that is potentially where you could see the target for Bitcoin pushing up to that level, okay. So you could see us push out at this point. If we could get the power here and the volume step in, you could see us break out and push up, and that could potentially be your target for Bitcoin. So, you know, we do target everything in this channel and all possibilities. So I'm just making you aware that that is a potential target at any point if you was to continue to trade down inside this channel, because this could go on for quite a while, okay. You could see Bitcoin sort of break down, it looks bearish, okay, and we do something like this and we make these high lows and it looks bearish, but actually we're just trading this broadening ascending descending channel here, and eventually when you get the pop out, that is your target. You come back up to where you form the channel, okay. So that's Bitcoin basically. But what we've got on as well playing out right now is a potential, so we get rid of this, a potential retest of this. If we can fall, if Bitcoin was to correct now, okay, and this channel acts as resistance, it may look like you're going to go fall deeper, but what you may see is this descending triangle come into play where it acts as some form of support there, and we get the bounce, and that actually does see us push through this. So that is a potential play for Bitcoin right now. You do need to keep an eye on the CMA and the 4 hourly time frame, because what you might see is this yellow line here, which is the 20 EMA, creep up, Bitcoin start to break down, okay, and then get the bounce off it, which is literally, you know, on the base, on the bottom of this descending triangle. Bitcoin break up above, back test this descending broadening channel as support, and then you know that the bias has turned bullish again, guys, okay, and we are pushing up, and you potentially seen as, you know, trading into the apex of this descending triangle before we break out, and that would be your target, obviously, because you broke out of this descending channel, and then obviously you've got the high target up there of 63,875 because you've broken out of this descending triangle. So that's basically Bitcoin. You know, but failing that, if you was to see us lose this support here, okay, if you was to see us lose this support, which could happen, you know, you could potentially see us fall down, but I would expect us to start making higher lows there, okay? So if it was to go down, then I would expect, you know, if we was to come down, then down here, wherever it touches this channel, would be a fantastic buying opportunity for Bitcoin, because you could see, you know, it pumping back up and retesting the channel, where you could potentially, you know, swing trade this Bitcoin of volatility at the moment until it does break out. So just something to keep an eye on. At the moment, you know, I would be more biased towards the fact that you may see Bitcoin break down here, retest the bottom of this descending triangle before coming back up and actually breaking out of this, because in effect this little pattern that you've got going on here, you know, in this range is a descending triangle as well. So you've got a descending triangle inside a descending triangle inside of a descending broadening wedge, okay, which are all quite bullish patterns. They're just continuation and accumulative patterns inside one another. So at the moment it looks good, but failing that, if you do see us fall out of this support line now, when I will drop that in there for you so you are fully aware, if you do see us go any lower than 54,128, then, you know, we are targeting down there. But there's another confluence I want to show you right now, okay, which is standing up for Bitcoin, and it does look good for Bitcoin, and it's this. I'm going to zoom in here. This is a daily time frame here, okay. It's something I noticed that we do need to pay attention to. So on the daily time frame, wow, that looks messy. I'm going to switch to another chart. So on the daily time frame here, I know we've got that pattern where we do seem to be falling down, but what you've got is this, and this is really good for Bitcoin, okay. We have got the close on the daily 20 EMA. So yesterday we closed above the daily 20 EMA, so that actually is potentially going to save us, and that is confluence in itself, that, you know, if we was to fall right now, you can see that the support of the daily EMA, the 20 EMA, is 54,595. so that in effect is your support area, which in effect is almost the bottom, you know, just higher than the bottom of that descending triangle that we do find ourselves back into, okay. So that may act as a level of support there for Bitcoin, and you may see that bounce, because what happens is that when you get above this 20 EMA after a correction, you can see here, you get above it, you have a back test of it like we did here, and then you march on it and you keep, you know, back testing it. As long as you stay above it, which potentially Bitcoin could do right now, okay, is stay above this 20 EMA on the daily time frame, as it has there in that correction, and you may see us stay above that 20 EMA in this correction. So you may not see us fall lower than that descending broadening wedge, which would cancel that particular pattern, which would cancel us seeing going any lower, and then the descending triangle would play out, which is basically more upside, guys, and you do see those targets. So you have to look at like the grand scheme of things sometimes. Again, failing that, if we was to fall through this, you know, then you would be looking at that broadening descending wedge channel pattern playing out there for Bitcoin, guys. So yeah, it's just something to keep an eye on. We do try to cover everything in the channel. So again, you know, when you do see it break down, okay, but then when you actually close above the 20 EMA for Bitcoin, okay, Bitcoin especially, and most projects to be fair, okay, when you see that close above, you know, when the body of the candle is above on the close, like there, you know, there was slightly above, it had a little bit of a dip, but you can see it come back up. That's really good. It's really good for Bitcoin, okay, because it shows that the bulls are stepping in. Just there, that's a really good candle yesterday that we got for Bitcoin. That big pump, close above the 20, and now you can see we are toying with it. We're back testing it support. So, you know, you could see that push off this 20 EMA, and you know, that saved Bitcoin's ass today. So we're going to look at Ethereum now, okay. So diving into the Ethereum chart right now, this is a daily time frame, okay. You can see on the daily we've lost the 20, okay, but we are above the 55, so that's good. We are above the 55 because yesterday we were below it, okay, and I said to you it's acting as a level of resistance. We're struggling to get above it, but we've actually pushed through. We've hit our head on the 20, not like Bitcoin where it's closed above. So at the moment Bitcoin looks more bullish than Bitcoin looks more bullish than Ethereum, okay? But then you can see we've come back down and we are hitting a head on it, right? So what we'll do, we'll zoom into the 4 hourly time frame, and again, you do have these targets here, okay? If you was to fall any lower, this 1421, you would be looking at that bigger correction for Ethereum on the grand scale of things down to that level, and we do not need to see that, okay? So if it was to correct any further, but given the Bitcoin structure at the moment, I do feel like the market may potentially pick up, okay? We might not fall into that descending channel. So that's just something to keep an eye on, because obviously if Bitcoin's going, then the whole market kind of follows suit. So basically you've got this larger correction there, which we have told you about, made you aware in the channel there. So do keep an eye on that, okay? But at the moment, we'll jump into the 4 hourly for Ethereum. So on the 4 hourly time frame here, you can see we sort of came up in this sort of almost like bear flag, okay? So it's basically a rising wedge, but luckily, like we say, they don't always break down, and we did actually get the break up there, so that's great. We broke out of this sort of rising wedge type pattern here, and that's really good, okay, because we got the pump up. But what we've done, as you can see, we have hit a level of resistance now on that 4 hourly time frame. Okay, so what you're potentially looking at here, we'll have a look, I'll clean this up. So what you've got here for Ethereum, which I'm going to show you, is really good, okay? It does look like it's breaking down. It has hit a level of resistance there on the 4 hourly time frame on the 55 EMA there. You can see it's hit its head and coming down, and it looks quite bearish, okay? But you've got, look at the 20 EMA here, yeah, and you do have a bullish divergence on the RSI here, okay? So that basically it's a low and a high low, but in the price there you've got a high and a lower high, so that's a divergence. So you are looking at a kind of reversal there, okay, in the price. So potentially, you are looking at this hitting this 20 EMA today at some point, and then bouncing off it as support and pushing through, because that's how we target this in the channel. You do look for these EMA retests. And something else I want to show you here, okay, is really good. The fact that Ethereum, okay, formed this bullish cross here, all right, and this is confluence in itself for a reversal, and the fact that we may have found a bottom, because when you form your bullish crosses, especially on a 4 hourly time frame, when you go bearish, okay, so we've gone up really bullish, okay, and then we started to correct, as you did here, we started to correct in this bearish cross, but where we found support, okay, is the previous bullish cross. So that means that bullish cross is acting as a really strong level of support, and it's actually just a retest of support and a continuation trend. So Ethereum has found a really strong level of support there at the moment, okay? So that's something you do need to keep an eye on. And we do target that retest there. When you go bearish, if you start to lose the previous bullish cross, okay, then you are looking relatively bearish to make lower lows, okay? But at the moment you have made that low on the bullish cross as a retest of support. So, and you can see, look at the curl in the 20 EMA there. That's an enormous amount of power. Of course, Ethereum is going to come up against resistance. It's not just going to just soldier on through, okay? It's going to hit a level of resistance, and that shows the strength, it shows that it's good, because the market is reacting really well to it. So you've got that level of resistance coming back down, and like I said to you, when you do break these EMAs, especially any EMA, the 55, the 20 EMA on any time frame, you do need to see that backtest of support, and that's potentially what we're looking at now for Ethereum, that backtest of support before we march on, and get back above the 55. When you get above the 55, you'll potentially see that retest of support as well, confirming the uptrend, and then you'll begin to look at the reversal, okay? So you may have potentially bottomed out for Ethereum, which is good, because we do not need to go down to that lower low there. So, what we're looking at for Ethereum is, what we need to do is break this high here, okay? So that would be our target. So what we need to do is put that target in there for you now, so you can see that. So we do need to get above that target to invalidate this double M double top, okay? And that target here is at 1941. So we do need to see Ethereum march on now, because what could happen to Ethereum if it doesn't march on, okay, and break that high? You could be looking at a long level of consolidation for Ethereum, where it sort of trades like this, okay, in this channel, until it does decide to break down or does decide to break up. So that's potentially what you're looking at for Ethereum. Again, you don't lose this low, okay? Can't lose this low, because then that means you've lost the bullish retest of the cross, the bullish EMA retest there, okay? You lost that low, and then you're potentially going down to test this low here, which you can't lose. You can't lose that low, okay? You can't lose that low there, because if you was, then you are looking at that larger correction for Ethereum. So it's just something to keep an eye on, okay? Hopefully, you know, we do look like we've picked up. We've bottomed out there. We've had that retest of the 4-hour EMA there, which is good. We are pushing on. We've got back. We back tested this 20 EMA, which is good. And you know, we are hitting out on the 55, but we do need to see that retest there and then push up and back test that 55 and then march on, okay? So that's it for Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm going to do more videos and pop them in the channel, guys. Thank you once again for all your support and all the comments on the videos there, and your continued support in the Telegram group there. Do please get involved in the community. The link is in the description below the video. I'll catch you soon in another video. Bye bye.